Art Authority millage?
Correct.
I just want to make sure, because if what you're telling us and what you're advocating to us, vote yes on August 7th during the primary. Could you repeat that and tell me if I'm accurate on that?
Yes, you're voting yes to confirm the action by the boards of commissioners in the 3 counties to establish an art authority, which will then, through this services agreement that I mentioned, provide the services from the DIA to the citizens in those respective counties. You will not see the name Detroit Institute of Arts on the proposal.
Okay, so that's very important, because we don't want to, because if somebody's looking for DIA, let's say I want to help as a volunteer. Hopefully that's what our viewers want to do. Tell me, how do you go about that? How do you go about helping in that campaign?
Well, we accept all volunteers for a whole variety of different responsibilities in the campaign. Fortunately, Terry, we have hundreds of volunteers who are very passionate about the museum.
Yes.
For those listeners or viewers who have not volunteered before, it's simply a matter of contacting our campaign manager or members of the campaign staff, indicating an interest in wanting to help, and you become a member instantly.
But the number one thing, you want everybody, either if they have an absentee voters or they are going to vote on August 7th, to basically go and make sure to vote, go to the end of their ballot to vote for the millages. Because that's a little hard sometimes, people just vote for individuals, but they don't vote for millages. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And that's what you want.
In Wayne County, for instance, the ballot has on the front page judicial and United States Senate choices. On that same front page is our museum millage proposal. So you'll be seeing it as you look at the front of the ballot. And of course, we'd like people to complete the entire ballot and check yes to support the Art Authority.
If people are not convinced, and hopefully, because again, it's a jewel in the community, in the city, not only for the city, for the state itself, could you talk about the inside out, how the DIA is being innovative and going to the community? So if people want to see the art, not only in the museum, see it someplace else. Could you elaborate on that program, Inside Out program?
In addition to our great art collection, which is world-renowned, we have a director and a wonderful group of administrators and staff, curatorial experts, all of whom are working together to make the DIA a more visitor-friendly, user-friendly experience. One of the hallmarks, and that is, yes, the museum is located on Woodward Avenue in Detroit, but its outreach is well beyond those limits to the community. Not just southeastern Michigan, the entire state of Michigan and the region. The program you're speaking about started a couple of years ago with the duplication or reproduction of some of our great artworks.
Okay, yeah.
And then going throughout the community in the southeastern Michigan area, and now Mackinac Island has a wonderful series of these reproductions, but locating these paintings in communities with detail as to who the artist was and some background.
Okay.
And it's given people who haven't necessarily been regulars at the museum a first-hand look at some of the greatest art pieces in the world. And it has resulted in not only are they enjoying them in their communities, but they've actually come to the DIA to see the original artwork.
Yeah. Could you talk about the impact of business? Because I heard that, and I don't know if that's accurate or not, but people who want to relocate to the state of Michigan, especially manufacturing, that's the first thing that they look at. Cultural institution. Is that something that you feel that happens in the community and it does help economic development outside of the art? Is that?
Very, very much so. You can speak with business leaders as you have, and they will tell you that certainly retention of what we already have in our state is critical. But in attracting new businesses to Michigan, you have to go outside of Michigan to do that, whether it's Europe or the Far East. And I'm told, and I've heard it firsthand from people who are out looking for new business prospects, one of the very important questions that is posed, tell us what type of cultural amenities they have in Michigan.
That's true.
And in particular, in the Detroit area, the southeastern Michigan area. Businesses want to locate where employees and their families can enjoy that cultural experience. The DIA, along with many of our other wonderful cultural institutions, is cited in the answer to that question.
I have a couple of more questions, and then we're going to end the program and with a message from you about what we need to do. And that is, one of the things that the DIA does is bring art exhibits from throughout the world and to the Arab community, in the Arab community, because this is specifically for Arab audience. And what kind of exhibit did you bring to the DIA in the last couple of years?
Well, we have focused on a wide variety so we can attract viewers and visitors from all ethnic groups. You would remember certainly Rembrandt in the Face of Jesus within the last year. Prior to that, some of the pieces that we loan at the museum, because of the depth of our collection, to some of the great museums around the world, we're able to call on reciprocal lending from those museums. I was in Berlin a year ago with our director, Graham Beal, and I think I mentioned to you on each visit to a museum in Berlin, we would be recognized for which pictures from the DIA were currently hanging in those museums.
Which is great, isn't it?
So our effort is to give people an experience that they will never be able to replicate right here in our own DIA. So the variety of exhibitions, for instance, in August of this year, the National Gallery in Washington, D.C. is loaning us a painting by Vermeer, which will be one of the great pictures to travel. It doesn't travel that much.
These are priceless.
They're absolutely priceless. And as you know, the 5 Spanish Masters is now on view.
It's amazing.
It really is. And that all goes to the creative, thoughtful planning on the part of our director and his curatorial staff.
Well, I am very impressed every time I go to the DIA, and I'm more impressed with every exhibit that I see. And not only do you exhibit, now you host people, you do events, so people, it's a welcoming place for people to come to. And we really, truly need to keep it and maintain it. If you have one message to our community, for the election, what would your message be?
Well, I'm asked regularly why people like me volunteer in this particular instance, and the answer is simple. We're doing it for our current and for future generations. When you realize the multiple benefits that accrue from the DIA experience, it's well worth a yes vote on August 7th so that we can perpetuate the legacy that we've created, but create some sustainability in the DIA so that it'll be here for future generations.
And I know this show goes beyond Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne, but those of you who are in Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne, please vote. Vote via absentee ballots or go to the poll and vote, because it's very important to our community and our business. Thank you. What a wonderful experience that we have in here, and it's great to tell the people about the DIA. Thank you.
My pleasure, and I'm happy to tell the story anytime I can.
Thank you once again. Till next time, this is Insight into Leadership.